Good day to all of us. As we all know, biochemistry greatly contributes to the study of chemical processes and properties in living organisms, especially in the human body. Today we are going to tell you some of the medical implications of biochemistry and some of the new discoveries of biochemistry. When we say medical implications of biochemistry, it is the effect of biochemistry to the human body in the perspective of medicine. It also tackles about the effects of biochemicals in our body such as carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid, as well as what happens to the body if it is excess or insufficient. In this video, we're going to tell you some of the examples of medical implications of biochemistry and some new discoveries related to biochemistry.
And next is the marasmus. What is marasmus first? Marasmus is a form of malnutrition. It happens when the intake of nutrients and energy is too low for a person's needs. It leads to wasting or the loss of body fat and muscle. A child with marasmus may not grow as children usually do. The main cause of marasmus is nutrient deficiency. It occurs in children that don't ingest enough proteins, calories, and carbohydrates, and other important nutrients. This is usually due to poverty and a scarcity of food. This is the difference between marasmus and kwashiorkor. So first, marasmus is occurrence increases prior to age 1. Whereas kwashiorkor occurrence increases after 18 months. It can be distinguished from kwashiorkor in that kwashiorkor is protein deficiency with adequate energy intake, whereas marasmus is inadequate energy intake in all forms including proteins. Then, there are 3 symptoms of marasmus. First is the weight loss. Then second is the dehydration. And next is the stomach shrinkage. Fatty liver of protein-calorie malnutrition, kwashiorkor and marasmus. The lipid that accumulate is predominantly triglyceride, as in other types of fatty liver. Marasmus is a sort of protein inadequacy that can prompt weaknesses muscles, squandering, and lessen muscle versus fat levels. Decrease diminishes the variability of the invulnerable framework and makes sufferers more helpless to infections. The next in the marasmus is the impaired mental health. So what is impaired mental health? The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, defines a mental health impairment as a medical condition that disrupts a person's thinking, feeling, mood, ability to relate to others, and daily functioning. And it is a long-term protein inadequacy can influence your psychological well-being in various ways. It can prompt health hindrance, especially in youngers, and furthermore cause tension, surliness, sorrow, and crankiness. Impaired mental health causes childhood abuse, trauma, or neglect, social isolation or loneliness, experiencing discrimination and stigma, bereavement, losing someone close to you, severe or long-term stress, having a long-term physical health condition, and unemployment or losing your job. Any mental or psychological disorder such as an intellectual disability, organic brain syndrome, emotional or mental illness, and specific learning disabilities are considered impaired mental health. And the next topic is the edema, or also known as the dropsy. The dropsy or edema is the medical term for fluid retention in the body. The buildup of fluid causes affected tissue to become swollen. The swelling can occur in one particular part of the body, for example, as the result of an injury, or it can be more general. Edema is not getting enough protein, can prompt liquid maintenance. This can cause swelling in various zones of the body. For example, the feet, the hand, and the stomach. Aside from the swelling, edema can likewise cause hurting in the appendages, stained skin, hypertension, and solid joints.
The term protein deficiency represents a state of absolute deficiency of body proteins, one or more of the essential amino acids. According to Rosendal, protein deficiency is the disorder of blood coagulating. The individual with protein deficiency at the higher risk of developing abnormal blood coagulation. The person with moderate protein deficiency at the risk of deep vein thrombosis, which occurs in the deep veins of extremities. Protein is found everywhere in our body, to our muscles, skin, hair, bones, and the blood are largely made of protein. For this reason, protein deficiency has a wide range of symptoms. Serious protein deficiency can cause swelling, fatty liver, skin degeneration, increase the severity of infections, and stop growth in children. Health complications caused by the protein deficiency. Protein is the macronutrient that is basic for the development, upkeep, and repair of all your body cells. The body can't make do without this supplement. Neglecting the devour enough to protein can have various negative symptoms and eventually comes and demise. The author further stated the following health complication caused by the low intake of protein. First is a kwashiorkor. It's a form of protein energy malnutrition that occurs when there is not enough protein in the diet. The World Health Organization defines malnutrition as a cellular imbalance between supply of nutrients, energy, and the body's demand for them to ensure growth, maintenance, and a specific function. The condition of kwashiorkor in the children was first described in 1932. Kwashiorkor in an African dialect means disposed child, disposed from the mother's breast by the newborn sibling, and red boy due to the reddish-orange discoloration, the hair that is a characteristic of the disease. Causes of kwashiorkor other than the protein deficient diet include poor essential absorption, chronic alcoholism, kidney disease, infection in a trauma that lead to increasing need of protein caloric intake and the result of loss of nutrients due to the body's demand to repair. The next reporter will explain the other complication.
Organ failure. Protein is required to the growth and maintenance of various body function. Deficiency of protein can cause the improper function of the different body organs. Wasting and shrinkage of muscle tissues. When you don't get enough protein in your eating regimen, your body begins to source it from somewhere else. One of the primary sources your body swing to is the muscle. On the off chance that your body takes protein from the muscle, it makes them wasting and shrinkage. Weak immune system. Protein is basic for the creation of antibodies, which are a key piece of safe framework. On the off chance that you wind up plainly inadequate in protein, your body will be not able to produce these antibodies. This make you more defenseless to disease as your body will battle to battle remote items.
Hello everyone! Today I am going to share what are the new discoveries in biochemistry. So based on what I have been researched, here are the top 5 new discoveries or the latest discoveries in biochemistry. First is the worm's secret. A short-lived species of roundworm can live longer due to the activation of the vital autophagy protein. This is discovered by the Stanford-born Humphrey-based Medical Discovery Institute on December 11, 2019. Autophagy is a process during which sizable structure inside the cell, such as bulky proteins and mitochondria, get destroyed and recycled. Autophagy was recently found to be selective in several proteins that are involved in tagging and delivering them to a unique cellular structure called phagosomes have been found. A new role in prolonging lifespan was discovered for so. So these findings are especially beneficial for developing treatments against Huntington's and Alzheimer's disease, which are in part caused by the accumulation of harmful proteins. Next is the BPA or the bisphenol A, a chemical compound. So, a level of well-known and dangerous chemical was much higher in humans than anticipated. It is the discovery of USA in December 2019. Bisphenol A or the BPA is a chemical widely used in multiple plastic products. It was proven that BPA interferes with multiple endocrine processes, which may lead to metabolic disorders. BPA exposure during pregnancy is also dangerous for the development of the fetus. Next is the heme, a molecule crucial to the development of obesity, discovered by Brown's Fat on USA on November 2019. Heme is a molecule with multiple functions. It is both crucial a component for many enzymes and proteins, including hemoglobin, and also a signaling molecule that drives various molecular and cellular processes. The functions and the mechanisms of delivery of the heme molecule are still being studied. So this discovery is crucial for understanding the process taking place in fat tissue and can point to a potential treatment against metabolic disorders and obesity. Next is a collaborative study has described a protein crucial for the teratogenic effects of thalidomide from Japan and Italy in October 2019. Thalidomide was a drug widely used in 1950 for morning sickness. A decade later, it was proven that thalidomide use could lead to severe abnormalities in developing babies. Currently, it was found that thalidomide can be used in treatment of blood cancer and leprosy. It is also helpful or useful for treating inflammation, but it's still contraindicated in pregnancy. Thalidomide study was a collaboration between Japanese scientists at the Tokyo Medical University and researchers from the Università degli Studi di Milano, Italy. Has helped in understanding the mechanism through which thalidomide interferes with the embryonic development. Next is how to calm down parathyroid gland, a new signaling molecule that may help with the hyperparathyroidism found by Singapore and India on April 2019. Hyperparathyroidism is a condition caused by an overgrowth of a tissue in the parathyroid gland. As parathyroid gland are responsible for calcium level and nervous system regulation, the overgrowth leads to hypercalcemia and neurologic disorder. Currently, this condition is treated by surgery, which is not always successful and potentially have side effects. A team from Cardiovascular and Metabolic Disorder Program at the NUS Medical School in Singapore has studied the activity of parathyroid gland in mice and has found out that this discovery can potentially lead to a treatment of hyperparathyroidism that does not require surgery. So that is all. I hope you learned something from me and discovered something from different new discoveries in biochemistry.
Good day, I am Charmy Ann Morin, and I will discuss the 5 discoveries in biochemistry that I have chosen from the article in the internet that I have researched. I will discuss all the information I've gathered here in this video of mine, and my partner Hani de la Peña will also discuss another set of discoveries in biochemistry. Discoveries in biochemistry. Top 1. Sortase A, a peptide designer of bacterial origins. It is the newly produced protein chains undergo post-translational modifications with the help of a class of enzymes called sortases. Bacteria have some highly efficient sortases that allow scientists to replicate these natural processes in the lab. It is now widely used for altering and fine-tuning protein in vitro, allowing the development of multiple proteins with novel functions artificially. Top 2. Looking inside plants, a new mass spectrometry technique. Mass spectrometry is an approach that allows us to see and analyze molecules. One of the most progressive mass spectrometry methods, called MALDI-MSI, takes even farther. It visualizes molecule structures directly inside the cells. Novel protocols help overcome these obstacles and allow observations of macromolecules in cells of the roots and leaves of the plants, giving the scientists an insight into complex biochemical machinery of these organisms. Top 3. Following the glycans, glycomics helps in studying human diseases. In popular opinion, carbohydrates are those complex compounds that can provide us with energy or contribute to such systematic diseases that like diabetes or obesity. However, carbohydrates fulfill a wider variety of functions. For instance, a carbohydrate called glycans is essential for glycoproteins production. Glycoproteins, in their turn, are crucial in cellular recognition and development. Thanks to novel methods such as mass spectrometry and bioinformatics, it is now clear that glycans are critical regulators of the metabolism both in healthy cells and in malignant ones. Top 4. Nanotechnology against cancer. The modern cancer therapy aims to use drugs that can be safely delivered to the target cells in specific quantities, and this becomes possible due to nanotechnology. A new kind of nanoparticle of two anti-cancer drugs, raltitrex and chlorphapine, was developed. These particles can self-assemble into a double raltitrex chlorphapine molecule that has synergistic properties. Such nanomolecules can be delivered directly into the tumor, suppress the cell cycle of the cancer cells, and prevent cancer progression. Top 5. Genes, carbohydrates, and blood groups. A novel discovery on the threshold between biochemistry and genetics. Glycosyltransferases are a class of diverse proteins that are responsible for protein glycosylation. They are also crucial for the production of glycoproteins expressed on the surface of red blood cells or RBC and used for blood group classification. Genetic and bioinformatics analysis has established some genes that code for such proteins. There are around 30 genes that influence the blood groups of RBCs and can potentially lead to blood disorders in case of mutation. This analysis also has led to the discovery of a novel blood group system. Here are the references of my topic where I gathered everything. And as we can see, the topic that I have discussed was mostly devoted to the properties of carbohydrates and glycoproteins. The researchers slowly understand the complex networks of proteins that are the basis in health and disease, especially cancer.
That is all for our report and presentation. If you have some questions, you may raise it after this video. Thank you very much and God bless.